Today's lesson is on solving systems of equations by graphing. And in this unit, we're going to solve a lot of systems of equations in different ways. Today just happens to be graphing. So what is a system of equations? Well, a system of equations just simply means we have more than one equation. So we have here two equations. As long as it's more than one, that makes it a system. If we have 4, 5, 6, it's still a system. For us, we're going to have two. So throughout the lessons, we're going to do different ways to solve. There's elimination, substitution. We're going to do it in the calculator. We're going to do a bunch of different things. But basically what we're really looking for is some kind of shared answer between this problem and this problem. Well, if we're going to solve it by graphing, we should probably start by actually graphing it. IXL graphs for us, so I think this is probably the easiest way to show it. Notice it gives us our two equations. It gives us a graph. It says click to select points, and then it has the same two equations again down here. So we're going to start with this orange one right here. And this orange one has a y-intercept of 2. So I'm going to go to 2, click and put a dot. Now it says my slope is -8, and remember this needs to be a fraction. So we would put this over 1. So it'd be -8 over 1. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 because it's negative, and then over 1, and then click, and then it draws my line for me. I'm going to click and select this blue one. It has a y-intercept of -3. So we're going to go to the middle, go down 1, 2, 3 from a y-intercept of -3. It also has a slope of -3. And that needs to be a fraction again, so we're going to put it over 1. So -3 means I will go down 1, 2, 3, and then over 1, and click. So now I have my system. I have two lines graphed, and you can see that right here, these lines actually cross. They share this dot. Well, if I'm looking for an answer to both of these equations, then that answer is going to be where they're the same, or that dot. So the value of that dot, well, it's at 1, -6. So that's going to be my answer. 1, -6. And that's all we're looking for is where is the shared dot. Okay, so same exact thing. It says solve my system. It gives me two equations. We're going to do it by graphing. So if I come down here, and we're going to start with the orange one. It's selected by default. Its y-intercept is 6. So we're going to go to the middle, go up to 6 on the y, click to put my first dot. Now my slope is 4. We need a fraction again, so we will put this over 1. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Click and put our dot. Click the blue one to select it. Now this one doesn't have a y-intercept. The y-intercept should be over here. If it doesn't have a y-intercept, then it's actually 0, and we just start in the middle. So this is my origin point. That's 0 on the y. My slope is -2. We need a fraction, so we're going to put it over 1. So -2 means down 1, 2, over 1, and click. Now, I don't actually have a dot on this one, but you can definitely see that my orange line and my blue line cross right here. Then that's going to be my solution. So we're going to get our x value first. So that's at -1. And then my y value is 2. So my solution, the shared dot, is at -1, 2. 2. All right, these are all going to be pretty much the same thing. The only problem we may run into is one like this. Oh, and I don't have my thing open. 1 second. There we go. Okay, so you can see this first one, there's a problem. It is not in the correct format. If we're trying to graph, then I need it to be in y equals mx plus b format because we keep looking at the y-intercept and we keep looking at the slope. So if you look at this first equation right here, which is x plus y equals 2. So x plus y equals 2. And you can see that that does not follow the same order as this. So we need to make it follow this order. To do that, we have to move this x, because this x is supposed to be on the right-hand side of the equal sign, and it's on the left. So I'm going to take this x, and I'm going to get rid of it by subtracting x. I have to do it on both sides of the equal sign. On this side, it's going to cancel out, leaves me with nothing but a y. So y, then my equals. Now I have 2 minus x, but again, I want it in this order. So I want the x to come before the number. So I'm going to take this negative x, put it in front, and then since I had a 2 here and 2 is positive, I'm going to put plus 2. So I'm going to graph y equals negative x plus 2. There's no number here. I need this number. If there's no number, it's a 1. Go away, advertisement. And I need a fraction, so I'm just going to put it over 1. So my y-intercept is 2. So if I go to this equation, it's going to be my purple one. My y-intercept was 2, so we're going to go to 2 on the y-axis and click. And then my slope was negative 1 over 1. So negative 1 means down 1, and then the over 1 is to the right. Right, there's the pink one. Now the green one, it's in y equals mx plus b, so I don't have to do anything. I can just graph it. My y-intercept is 5, so I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, click, put my dot. My slope is negative 4. I need it to be a fraction, so we're going to put it over 1. So negative 4 means down 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces over 1, and click. We have a shared dot right here. The x value of that dot is 1. So that's at 1. And then the y value is 1. So these are the only problems you can really run into, is the fact if they're just not in y equals mx plus b format, then you have to change them. We're going to scroll through here and you can see they get a little bigger and a little more complex, but we're still doing the same thing. So let's find one where, here, let's do this one. Okay, we have 2 equations. Neither equation is actually in slope-intercept form, so we're going to make it. So we got x plus 3y equals 9. X plus 3y equals 9. Check. Yep. Okay, so we want it in this order. It's not. So we're going to do the same thing we did with this one. We're going to start by moving the x over here. To move it, I need to subtract it so that I can cancel it out. So x minus x makes nothing, leaves me with 3y. Now I have 9 minus x, but again, I want it in this order, mx plus b. So I'm going to write the x first, negative x. The 9 was positive, so I'm going to put plus 9. Now it's still not in this form because it's supposed to just be a y, and it's 3y. So we need to get rid of that 3. To get rid of the 3, we're going to divide, since it's multiplying. We have to divide everything by 3. Remember, multiplying or dividing is everything. We do the math. 3 divided by 3 is 1. It cancels out, and I have y equals. Now, there needs to be a number right here because I'm trying to divide. Well, if there's no number, it's a 1. So I have negative 1 divided by 3. Well, I can't do that. So I'm going to leave it negative 1 divided by 3, or negative 1/3. Put my x back on it. Plus 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, we are in slope-intercept form now. My intercept is 3. So let's go back over here. We got a green one. My y-intercept was 3, so put a dot at 3. My slope is negative 1/3. So negative 1 means down 1, and then the 3 on the bottom means over to the right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's my green line. Now I want to graph the purple one. But just like the other one, it's out of order. If I was smart, I would have picked the same colors, wouldn't I? So the purple one, x minus 3y equals negative 3. Let's just check and make sure I got that right. X minus 3y equals negative 3. Okay, same thing. We got to put it in slope-intercept form. That means this x can't be there, so we're going to get rid of it by subtracting both sides. That one cancels, leaves me with a negative 3y. I want the x in front, so negative x. And then it was a negative 3, so minus 3. Still not in y equals mx plus b because of this negative 3 in front. So I'm going to divide and get rid of it. Every single thing gets divided by negative 3. That leaves me with y equals. Need a fraction, or I need a number, so we're going to put a 1 right there. Now you can't divide 1 by 3 again. The same thing happened here. But because there's two negatives cancel out and make a positive. So we're going to just put a positive 1/3 x. And I can divide 3 and 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And since they're both negatives, the negatives cancel out. And we get plus 1. So I'm going to take my y-intercept of 1. So there's 1. Click. My slope was 1/3. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1, 2, 3, and click. So I need my x value. That's 1, 2, 3. So there's my x value is at 3. And then I need my y value, and that's going to be at 2. So there's, let's say 4. Let's say there's 4 special cases. Notice this is x equals negative 6. If you have an equation that just has an x in it, then you go to that number. So x equals negative 6, great, negative 6 right there. Then everything or any other dot, and we don't have another dot because there's no equation really, it's a vertical line. So you can click anywhere. As long as I have a vertical line at negative 6 when it's x. All right, let's say you had, let's say you had y equals 3. Okay, if we had y equals 3 and I wanted to graph it, then I go to the y and click on the 3, and then I click anywhere else as long as it's on a horizontal line. So I click anywhere I want to, and there's my horizontal line. So x equals and no y, you get a vertical line at that number. Y equals and no x, you get a horizontal line at that number. All right, so that's 2 special cases. What are the other special cases? So I'm not actually following these equations here. I'm just using our graph as an example. But let's say we graphed a line like this, and we graphed the next one, and it did this. That is not what I wanted. Get rid of this. There we go. All right, so let's say we graph 2 lines, and those 2 lines look like this. Well, those 2 lines don't cross, and my solution is where they don't cross. Now, today it's asking you for the solution, so they should cross somewhere. Well, if they don't cross it anywhere ever, they're parallel, then this is no solution. And you would just write no solution because, well, if they don't cross, there is no solution. Right? That's the third special case. The last special case is, let's say we graph this green one. It looked just like that. And then we go to graph the pink one. We'll go to graph the pink one, and let's just go here and here. And it does this. The 2 lines overlap each other. Well, if they're the same line and they're overlapped, then I don't know if that looks quite right. Nah, it's just doing that. Okay. So they overlap each other. Then this is all solutions or infinitely many solutions, however you want to say it. So there's your 4 special cases. X's only make vertical lines. Y's only make horizontal lines. If they're parallel and don't touch, there's no solution. If they are the same line, it's the exact same equation, then it's all solutions. You shouldn't run into any of the all solutions or no solution ones today because you have to put in your answer.